That's amazing. The dogs. Is that even a real story? That's a fact. This is complete nonsense, Greg. Read a book. I guess you are kind of artistic. Incredible. What are you even talking about, man? Go for broke. I don't even know what that means. Let's get it going.
Let's get her going. Keep her going, baby.
Oh, my God. Turn that off.
Brand new horn compliments of Mike Gazelle out of Buffalo, New York. I like to call him Dollar Mike.
Okay, well, turn it off. It's quite annoying.
All right, I'm going to put it back in my pocket.
Put it back in your pocket. All right, what's up, folks? You're listening to the Barkology podcast. This is Scott, my bro Greg across the table. Thanks for joining us again today.
We are biggity back. And I'm pumped. You couldn't tell.
Very pumped. So to start out, just wanted to give you a reminder that we do have our Barkology apparel, our gear. It's up online at barkology.itemorder.com. We have all the nicest shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, tumblers, kind of like Yeti type gear, all that kind of cool stuff. So check it out. It's been requested, so definitely check it out. And again, that's at barkology.itemorder.com. So, Greg, we
got the gear.
So, you know what I was thinking about the other day? Do you remember that video back in college called Old Greg?
Yeah, I hated it.
Old Greg.
And I'll tell you why, but you go ahead.
You ever drink Bailey's out of a shoe?
Yeah.
Do you like me?
Yeah.
What do you think of me?
Nah. So I absolutely hated that video. It came out when I was in like high school and like sophomore year in college. These like group of like 3 girls. Jenny was one of them.
Okay.
Do you remember her?
Jenny.
I think she dated Kyle.
Oh, Jenny Garrison?
Mm-hmm. But the 3 of them, every time they saw me, would just run up to me and say, "Oh, Greg!" And like after like 3 years of it, I was just kind of over it. But it's pretty ridiculous.
You want to come to a club where people wee on each other?
Yes.
For some reason, I thought of that video. It's an old British video, and it's absolutely one of the creepiest videos you'll ever see.
Debatable.
Yeah, I mean, debatable, but, you know, back in the day, it was a little bit creepy. But, yeah, pumped to be back. It's been an exciting week. Not really, but did a couple things that were relatively fun. I was watching last weekend. One, it's March Madness, so that's been taking up a good amount of time. There's all the basketball games. I know you don't really tune in, but there's been a few good ones. My fiance Leah's been sucked in. I mean, she doesn't care about basketball at all, but we filled out brackets this year, and she can't stop watching. Mm-hmm. Like last night, I was like, "Let's go to bed."
I got a great story about that. Last time I went to the bar.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were okay. Two games out of all of the games.
So she's going on all night about how her family, Scott's fiance, right? We're talking about her family filled out a bracket. And my girlfriend, Danelle, and Leah are watching a game on TV. And Danelle asked Leah, "What team do you have for this game?" Leah says, "I have Gorgonzola." So back and forth for like 7 to 10 times. I go, "Oh, go Gorgonzola." And finally, I can't take it anymore. And I just say, "It's Gonzaga." Like
close enough. You added a few syllables in there, but yeah, I know that's they're true fans. That's how you know they're true fans.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, she's been just sucked in. So I've been trying to go to bed, after the 8:00 game every time, and then she tries to stay up and watch the 10:15 game. So
yeah, I can't.
Yeah, we're getting
old.
My
bedtime's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we getting old, man.
Bye.
But last weekend, have you heard of this show? And I'm not big into reality TV. Have you heard of the show Temptation Island?
Maybe.
All right, so the way they structured the show was there were 2 marathons on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So they're like 4 hours straight, Saturday and Sunday.
What do you mean a marathon? Like a
sprint? 6 half-an-hour episodes in a row.
Oh,
that kind of thing.
Not like a run.
Not every week, not weekly episodes, but they played over and over again. So Lee and I watched like 8 hours of the show Saturday and Sunday. We got sucked in, and then the finale was on Tuesday. And this show is so ridiculous. They just take 3 different couples or 4 different couples who are like dating anywhere from 2 years to 10 years. And they go into this house, and they're like, hey, we want to test our relationship, and they bring out a bunch of like sexy singles to come in and test the relationship.
So both couples are there?
Yeah, both parties of the couple.
Okay.
Yeah, are there, and they go out to their separate dope houses, kind of like the real world or whatever, and they mingle with all these singles, and the singles are just trying to fuck them. Singles are just out there to bang, to just fill them up.
Okay, continue.
So
just go on.
It's absolutely ridiculous because some of these couples like actually do better. Then there's a few that break up, and then there's a few that have been dating for like 10 years. And one of the two will be like, oh, my God, it's so perfect. This is going to be great. I'm, like, testing our relationship. And then the other side of that party is just, like, slaying bitches.
Like behind.
Yeah. So, like, they just.
The backs.
The expectations and where their view or where they think the relationship is going is just so off.
Yep.
And it was extremely awkward and uncomfortable to watch at times, but pretty ridiculously addicting show.
I probably won't watch it, but you fill me in and let me know if I really should.
Okay. Sounds good, my friend. Sounds good. But other than that, I mean, this week, started work again, just doing the work thing. But outside of that, man, just wedding planning. Been talking about it. Don't want to talk about it anymore. But what's up with you, my friend?
Not much. Just took a business trip to Binghamton. Don't recommend going there ever. Sorry, Binghamton. Just not a lovely place.
Very working class spot. I can't remember if I told this story. I was down in Binghamton for work, and I hope this is news to everybody. But I was down in Binghamton for work, and I was pulling up to the hotel that I was staying in. It was a Hilton Garden Inn right in downtown Binghamton, and I pulled up to a stoplight right outside of the hotel. To the right of me was the parking lot for the hotel. It was outside. I looked over, and there were these two 6'2" tall women staring directly at me. And me being me, I just stared directly back at them, kind of checking them out, looking them up and down. Not because I think they're pretty or anything, but because
You just had a 2.5-hour drive.
I'm suspicious. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, something is off in this picture. So there's probably a good 20 seconds of staring. Didn't think anything about it. Made 2 turns, pulled into the hotel. I was looking for parking, and when I was navigating the parking lot, I turned a corner, and one of the women was soliciting me by trying to get me to roll down the window, and the other one was stopping my car and looking directly into my eyes while flapping her little snatch in front of me.
Jesus, Frank.
So that was my most recent experience in Binghamton. So that's what you're getting when you get down there.
Lesson 1, never make eye contact. If you don't make eye contact, they don't exist.
I went wrong.
Lesson 2.
Immediately.
Lesson 2. Never go to Binghamton.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easy way to avoid any situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so don't go there.
Yep. So we checked into the hotel, and I get in my room, and it's just absolutely depressing. Lights don't even light up. Like, it's just bad. There's what appears to be either blood or poop in my shower. Like, it's just terrible, right?
Or both.
And I'm like, my room stinks like cigarettes, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just tough it out for the night. It was late. I'll go down and then change my room the next morning, whatever, or next night. I meet the other gentleman who's staying in the hotel as well. First thing he says to me goes, well, change rooms 3 times. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to tough it out and deal with this cigarette smoke and blood. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he went into the first room. Before even like going into the bathroom, the toilet is overflowing from the top of the tank. Just like flooding the room.
Somebody upper deckered him.
Yeah. So it goes into the second room, flushes the toilet to make sure. Keep in mind, this guy told us he had to shit back in Syracuse, which is like 2 hours from where we were. Mm-hmm. Goes into the second room, flushes it, same thing, just starts overflowing out of the top of the tank. And then finally, I guess his third room was okay. But after I heard those stories, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to stick to the cigarette smell and tough it out. But yeah, I wanted to leave immediately. Just like immediate depression. Just as soon as I got into Binghamton.
It's not a very prosperous area of southern upstate New York. So
well, it's like a lot of these little towns out there who they had big industry and the industry leaves. So that IBM was founded there. And when IBM pulled out,
Goodbye.
yeah, it just took a turn for the worse, let's say.
Goodbye.
Basically looked like you could find heroin just by knocking on any door.
What, just by searching the floor of the hotel lobby?
Yes. Oh, the hotel lobby. So, wow, I can't talk today. Lobby. So we check in at like 10:30 at night, and there's this weird guy sitting in the corner, like in this chair, just like dead staring at us.
Was he a
Like
man?
not even blinking.
Man of the street?
Just a man.
Or dead?
A man. Just like a weird, not even a man, just like kind of like a small, like it looked like a big child, but he was easily in his 30s.
Okay.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, it sounds better. Sorry, anyway, so there's this child man sitting in the lobby just dead staring at us, not blinking. Looks like he's Russian, right? We go back in the morning to the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's still sitting there. 8:30 in the morning. Been sitting there all night.
Does it look like he moved at all?
Nope.
Does he have a pulse? I mean,
I
it
don't know.
seems like a dead man.
No, he was alive because he moved chairs.
Oh, jeez.
That's it. Just moved chairs.
Strung out on something. Who knows?
I don't know. He's just hanging out in the lobby.
That's his hobby. He just buys a room.
You know what? I don't even think they charged me, to be honest. I still haven't got it. Like, I looked at my bank statement. Haven't charged me yet.
Well, hopefully they like took your card for incidentals or something, and then like didn't swipe it right, and somehow fucked that up, and you got a free room.
I'm okay with it.
If they call you, just say, "I never stayed in Binghamton, although it's the worst city I've ever been to. That's why I would never stay there. So it doesn't make any sense.
Why would I ever go to Binghamton? I wouldn't go there.
That would be hilarious. Oh my god! So, huge update. It's about 60 degrees today. Fuck yeah. My mood has changed from being very like neutral because of the winter to surprisingly super excited about everything because it's sunny.
Well, I'm glad your enthusiasm because your enthusiasm inspires my enthusiasm.
Yes.
Because I've had very limited
seasonal affective disorder. Or, what is it?
The SADS.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty prominent. With
it
people
hits
in
me hard, dude. I gotta crush vitamin D.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, if you don't in upstate New York, you're gonna be depressed. I mean, you have to kill a bunch of that D3. There's tons of other vitamins that have D3 in them as well.
I don't know.
Suck it in. Make yourself happy. So dog stories. Not too many dog stories this week, just coming from the personal accounts. The only thing I can say is we bought a new chair, like a new kind of, not a lazy boy, but a nice like chair that we put in our living room. You saw it. It's super fuzzy, extremely
that weird little like looks like a lawn chair.
No, I do not have a lawn chair in my living room.
Folks, he has a lawn chair. I'll take a picture and post it on Instagram.
Yeah. But yes, we have our nice living room chair, and out of nowhere, like we've been so happy because neither of the dogs have wanted to get on it since we got it a few months ago. And out of nowhere, Utley, the lazy, fat, boring
dude, he's lost a lot of weight. Give him some credit, okay? He's working on it.
I'm just giving him shit. But he, out of nowhere last night, we were watching some basketball, and he literally just goes up and puts his chin on the edge of the chair, like he's asking approval
for the good boy
for the chair.
It's a good boy
from the chair so he can get up on it. And we look over and we're like, no! And he sneaks up on it immediately. And it's the fabric of the chair is kind of like a velvety,
like
felty,
felt.
yeah,
Like felt.
And it just sucks hair off of him. So he immediately, out of nowhere, decided that he wants to make that his chair. And we're like, fuck that, because that's like the only chair in our house that doesn't have dog hair on it. Like if we're going out for a nice dinner, I literally sit on that chair, like with a suit on or something, to put my shoes on because I know I'm not going to get hair on myself. And he decided to claim that. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make it unappealing to him.
Did I tell you the story how I blew dry Oliver?
Yes.
Oh, did I tell that last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell it, yeah.
A lot of hair. A lot of hair going around.
Hair. But he's just like just as bad. So I'm probably going to hold him down this weekend and just blow dry his butt.
Good, man.
Give him a little perm of the butt.
Good. Oh,
yeah. Oliver was a little sick this week. For like a day, couldn't figure out what it was, but he wasn't acting normal, and we could tell because he was not like completely desiring attention. He just laid there and was farting real bad, stunk real bad. So my girlfriend Danelle decides to plug in one of those Glade air fresheners in the wall, made him so sick. Like, so bad.
Just smelling it, like whatever it was.
Breathing it in. So, folks, be careful.
Don't do that. Don't kill your dogs by using a Glade air freshener.
Be careful.
Yeah, I mean, dogs have allergies just like humans. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, there's been situations. It's weird too. You can give dogs. I mean, based on their body weight, typically you can give them any sort of human over-the-counter medication. Not. I don't want to. You know. I don't want to direct people into giving them anything, but I mean, for instance, like Benadryl and things like that, dogs take because it's based on body weight, and if they have some sort of allergic reaction, you can do that. Like, we were up in Canada, and we were doing a little vacation, Leah and I, and my dog Leah, stuck her face in either like a anthill, like a red anthill, or got stung on her face or something, and we didn't know what was going on, and then like half an hour later, her face started puffing up, and she started getting these little nodules all over her body, like lumps. She was swelling
up, like hives kind of thing.
Yeah, she was having an allergic reaction, and we're like, okay, let's check it out. We'll see what's going on. Another half an hour later, her face looked like a Shar-Pei. I mean, literally a Shar-Pei. It was so swollen.
I don't know what a Shar-Pei is.
A Shar-Pei are those dogs that have really wrinkly faces, wrinkly bodies, like really wrinkly bodies, wrinkly faces. I mean, they're kind of cute, I guess, but they have a ton of eye issues, a ton of skin issues, allergies, that kind of stuff. But we gave her some Benadryl, knocked her out for a couple hours, and thank God a family friend is a veterinarian. She was like, yeah, give her 50, 75 milligrams of Benadryl. She'll be fine. She woke up. She was like a new dog.
Oh,
but
good.
if she didn't have that, I mean, she was like shutting down. She was swelling up so bad. You know,
Your dog has had so many problems.
Have we talked about the injuries before?
No.
Oh, yeah. My dog's been injured a lot.
This dog has been through the ringer.
So that's a very, that's a recent and small injury compared to some of the others. Do you want me to just tell you a couple more?
Yes.
So when she was a puppy, when I first got her, I think she was 4 months old. So she was starting to grow, starting to get some personality. I was like, all right, she's big enough. We'll take her out onto the lake. So I went with my family. We took our boat out on the lake, on Skinny Atlas Lake in upstate New York. Second cleanest lake in the nation, I think. I throw that fact out all the time. Don't know if it's true.
Your brother tells us that all the time, and I don't believe him for a second.
You can see the bottom from like 50 feet deep. But after like a half an hour on the lake, she was jumping off into the water, having a great time, and she jumped off, and her foot got caught under one of the holds, like one of the cleats on the side of the boat.
Ooh.
Snapped her leg in half.
Oh.
Fell in the water. All she did was this. That was it. Didn't cry or anything. And I was like, oh, what happened? And I looked over, and her paw was hanging, just dangling. And I was like, oh, my God. And I felt like an absolute failure of a pet father. But what we did was we had to drive into town, and our car was at the boat launch.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way to drive to the vet. I had to carry her. She was probably 40 pounds at the time. Carry her in my arms like a wet sack of potatoes, like a dead body, whatever you want to say, 1.5 miles uphill both ways to the vet and bring her in there to figure it out. And it just ruined the day. Everybody was trying to have a good time during the summer, blah, blah, blah.
Yikes.
So that was the first injury.
Broken arm.
Broken arm.
Arm leg.
Multiple allergy issues. I mean, she's just curious by nature, so she kind of gets her face in everything.
Yeah. The lab, they get in everything.
Yeah, but the most recent one was every time I bring her to my dad's house, if my dad's going to watch her for a weekend or something, literally comes back, she's got like blood. Like just a nick. She lost some hair. Like on her face, she has something messed up. I'm
what
like,
about dead tail?
No, dead tail. That's common, I think. So she's pretty hyper a lot of the time. She's very high energy. So if I bring her out into the water, she'll swim and jump and exert herself so much she gets I don't know what the medical term is for dogs, or the veterinary term is.
Dead tail.
Drop tail.
Oh.
Drop tail. So the muscle in their lower back and tail that controls their tail wagging when they're happy literally just breaks. I mean, it literally like dies. So their tail just sits between their legs, and physically they're very exhausted, but then also mentally they just seem like they're super depressed because they can't do anything. And their tail just sits between her legs. You can't do anything. So yeah, that happened. And then most recently she tore ACL. Had to pay out of pocket for that shit. That sucked. Don't have pet insurance. So
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So that's about it. It was quite long-winded. I don't feel like talking about dog injuries anymore. It's making me sad.
Oliver is still hanging strong. Other than just being a puppy, dietary little tiffs there, but nothing serious.
Well, good.
He eats everything though. It's fucking garbage. Man.
I want to say one thing before we start the stories. Rochester, New York, there's a free adoption event. Be there, Greg.
All right, tell us. All
right,
some
so free
details.
adoption event in Rochester, New York. It's April 6th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the Rochester Animal Services. It's at 184 Verona Street, Rochester, New York. And the puppy on the front of this little postcard is amazing. But it's sponsored by the Petco Foundation. Get down there. They're going to have a ton of free dogs. Rochester is a pit bull-friendly city. So you'll see pit bulls everywhere, and there's going to be a bunch down there that are great dogs, but for whatever reason, people don't want them. Plenty of other phenomenal pets as well, but check it out, free adoption event at the Rochester Animal Services, sponsored by Petco Foundation. Sound good?
Yeah, be there.
I'll be there. I'll at least pet a couple dogs.
Hold on, I have to sneeze. Continue talking.
I'll pet a couple dogs. Jeez. I can hear all of that.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'll go down and I'll pet a few dogs, but I gotta leave my fiance at home because she's hungry for another pet, another dog.
Yeah, don't.
Can't have 3 dogs.
Yeah, I learned real quick. You can never just go, we're just going to go look at puppies. Uh-huh. Yeah, you're bringing one home.
Yeah, there's no way to leave one there.
We just want to look for puppies. Next thing you know, deposits down, and we're getting a dog in a month.
Yeah. All right, so let's start the stories, my dude.
All right, what's up?
You want me to start?
You really got to do that right in the mic.
Yes. All right, so last time, what did we talk about? Last time, what were our stories about? Was Space Dogs our last one?
No.
Oh, no, we did Python hunting dogs.
Yep.
And the Little Rascals PD. Yeah. That was a good one. What was it? Womanizing Little Rascals.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't remember the quote. All right, so this story today, the title of the story is Igloo, American Polar Explorer. So Igloo's got to be the name of the dog, right?
I don't know.
I would assume so. Igloo became famous in history for accompanying his master Richard Byrd on his expeditions to the North and South Poles. Interesting. So Richard Byrd, I don't really know who he is. He's wearing some sort of polar bear skin coat in the picture. Dog looks tiny. Dog doesn't look like it really has any hair, but we'll see how this goes. In the winter of 1926, Maurice Boggs found a stray terrier puppy shivering in the streets of Washington, D.C. Unable to keep the pup, she convinced Richard Byrd to take him and include him on his upcoming expedition to the Arctic. Kind of a random thing to do. Hey, I found this dog. You want to go to the North Pole? But who knows? In April 1926, Byrd, his crew, and his newly adopted dog, given the name Igloo by the ship's crew, set sail to Norway, where Byrd would challenge Roald Amundsen, a Norwegian explorer, to become the first man to fly over the North Pole. Fly? Okay. Byrd made the 15-and-a-half-hour flight, and Igloo was there to congratulate him on his victory. Disputes later arose over the legitimacy of Byrd's actually reaching the North Pole. So I guess back in 1926, yeah, you could say he did anything. Hey, man, I've been to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of fucking fish people there.
Right.
How would somebody know?
That?
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody would ever know.
Right now, today's day, it's like if it's not online, it never happened.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Igloo's second great adventure was in 1928 when Byrd became his first Antarctic expedition. This was the largest and most expensive expedition to Antarctica, consisting of 2 ships, 3 airplanes, 95 sled dogs, and 650 tons of supplies. So
95 sled dogs in a plane?
I think that's the amount of that's how they traveled. So they took 2 ships, then 3 airplanes, then 95 different separate sled dogs to travel there with the 650 tons to the South Pole of Antarctica.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, and recently, just so people know, there's only been one man, and it happened in 2018, I think, that traveled across Antarctica by himself.
On foot.
By foot. So, and that just happened in 2018. So that was this was almost 100 years ago. So obviously they're taking a few other travel measures to get there. And risks, big time. The goals of the expedition were to make the first flight over the South Pole. Oh, first flight. So it's a little bit different. And to bring experts to study the unknown territory. A base camp named Little America was constructed near the edge of the Ross Ice Shelf on the Bay of Whales, housing 42 men. Okay. Yeah, it's still baffling me when I look at Igloo. It's like the tiniest little terrier dog. Like you could literally stuff this thing like a wiener dog in your coat and keep you warmer.
Bring one of these bad boys up.
What do you mean?
On the computer.
Oh, you want to see this guy? Yeah, I mean they have him.
Is it an Igloo dog?
It honestly,
what's the breed?
It doesn't look like an Inuit. It's like a little terrier. It doesn't look like an Inuit. No, I'm not saying that it looks like a
Eskimo.
Yeah, like a traditional person from Alaska. But they have it dressed up, and it looks so fake because they have it.
How do you not have your search browser just set to Google? Why do you have to search that?
I don't know, man. But it looks like they have him dressed up like Paris Hilton, wearing like a fur jacket or something.
Ooh, sexy. Do you remember how ridiculous she was?
Paris Hilton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She was like the OG, I'm going to be famous for doing nothing person.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Here's Igloo. Check him out.
What do we got? Load. Admiral Richard. Whoa.
Just a little guy.
Yeah.
He's got a piece on him, though. Look at that little hog. Looks like he's got 5 legs.
He's got a little winger.
Little wang. I don't know what it is. Definitely a mixed breed, but either way.
It's got a really tiny head. Is there a better picture? Scroll down.
Very small head. White, brown ears.
Oh, they are tiny, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, it's just him. It's just the one dog.
So wait. He brought
that dog.
Just one of those.
Yes, this guy.
Okay, because
no, Igloo was not a part of the sled dogs.
Oh, okay,
he was just a stray dog that he found on the streets of Washington D.C. Some lady was like, "Hey, take him on your journeys to the North and South Pole," and the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." So that's what happened. This is the picture I was looking at initially. The guy's wearing like a full-blown bear, and then the dog's kind of hugging his leg because it's probably freezing cold.
Yeah, I hope that dog's okay.
All right, so Igloo, nicknamed Iggy, helped boost morale in the men during the isolation of their long expedition. Unlike the sled dogs who could tolerate sub-zero temperatures, Igloo had to sometimes wear a jacket and booties to help him keep warm. Makes sense. Upon his discovery of the snow, the soft, yielding resistance of the snow was delicious to his paws. He sniffed it gingerly. Then a red tongue emerged for a tentative lick. The sharp coldness took him by surprise. He emerged in a flurry of crystals, made a beeline dash to the shack at the crest of the slope, then swept into a series of concentric circles that ultimately ended in his becoming a whirling dervish. I don't know what dervish means. Enveloped in a minor snowstorm of his own making. I don't know where this quote came from. I'm assuming it was written down somewhere, but sounds like the dog was having a blast.
I'm going to guess a first person.
Yeah, it's a first person account. Yeah. Sounds cool. Sounds like the dog was just fucking wilding out down there. So in November 1929, Bird successfully flew to the South Pole and back. And in June 1930, the expedition returned to the U.S. Bird was given the hero's welcome, and Igloo was at Bird's side as they rode down Broadway in New York City during the ticker tape parade. Fuck yeah, they done it, son. In April 1931, while Bird was away on a speaking engagement, Igloo became ill, probably because he's been sucking in negative degree temperatures for so long.
That's probably not good for the lungs.
After hearing the news, Bird canceled his lectures to return home. Sadly, Igloo died before he made it home. Poor Igloo. Igloo was buried in Pine Ridge Cemetery for small animals in Massachusetts. His headstone is in the shape of an iceberg, which makes sense. Fully get it. And on the stone is a bronze plaque with the inscription, "He was more than a friend." Oh, man. This dog's been through a lot.
Say just a friend.
And you say, oh, baby, you. Yep. All right. That I need. Time magazine and newspapers across the country covered Igloo's death, and Bird received thousands of letters of condolences written by children from around the world. So this dog was like a kid's fucking hero, man.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, imagine if this dog's just published in all the newspapers and kids are like, I just want to be Igloo's friend.
Right.
All right.
About,
Later.
yeah.
What?
Nothing.
All right. Later, Bird's hometown of Winchester, Virginia, erected a life-size statue of Bird with Igloo by his side in front of the courthouse. That's awesome. And that's the end of the story, folks. But Igloo, you know what? He done some great things, Greg.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the story of Igloo, the American polar explorer. Went to the North Pole, went to the South Pole, and died. That's it.
Yikes.
Oh, man. So
man.
what do you bring to the table? What do you think of that? I mean, that's a pretty cool story, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just dogs in the snow.
Good old Iggy, man. Iggy McIggy.
And not only about dogs in the snow, do I have a great tale for you.
Okay, snow dogs?
Something like that. I guess we're on snow dogs today.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep her rolling. Keep her rolling.
So, I'm going to tell a few stories here about the sled dog heroes, the 1925 Serum Run.
All right, cool.
So, same time period as Iggy, right? You can think the Roaring 20s. Times were good.
For a little while. Until they got real bad.
There was a depression swiftly after.
Yes.
But people are going nuts, right? They got a little adventurous, started heading up into the cold territory. I don't know why, but they did, and so they're here. Anyways, onward. In the winter of 1925, an outbreak of diphtheria in Nome, Alaska was taking the lives of young children and threatening to take hundreds of more lives if the one and only doctor couldn't get the serum needed to treat and prevent illness. The closest large supply of serum was almost 700 miles away in Nanina.
Okay.
Yeah. So during the harsh weather conditions, the only means of transportation was the dog sled via the Iditarod Trail.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the people who made this run during the winter months were the postmen, which normally took 2 to 3 weeks to complete. The serum had to get there faster, so Alaskan territorial governor approved the relay of the 20 best sled dogs drivers and about 150 dogs. Sick children, 20 sled dog drivers, and 150 dogs.
That's so many dogs.
Mission accepted.
All right. Well,
What are you doing over here?
crushing it. I'm looking up what diphtheria is.
Yep, that's the right spelling.
Infection caused by the bacterium Corynebacterium diphtheriae. I don't know.
Anyways,
Thick covering in the back of the throat can be difficult for breathing, heart failure, paralysis, and even death. Okay. CDC recommends vaccines for infants, which they probably didn't have back then. And also fucking vaccinate your children. It is proven that autism is not caused by vaccinations, so don't be a dumb fucking parent. Go ahead.
you hear the outbreaks in New Jersey?
For what? Measles?
Yep.
Yeah, it's because you're not vaccinating your kids.
What's wrong with you?
What?
That's just dumb.
That's 100% why.
Idiots.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about people not doing it. Yes,
Did you
absolutely.
think I called you dumb? You're
There
dumb.
we go.
All right. Anyways, the temperatures were at a 20-year low due to high pressure system in the Arctic. The journey began January 27th. Teams traveled day and night through rough terrain and blizzards, handing off the package of serum to fresh teams. So basically, they're doing like a relay.
Sounds good.
Dogs
Sounds
run, hand off the serum.
How far is it again? How far is the whole thing? Did you cover that?
700 miles.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. So temperatures reached down to negative 50. Wind speeds got as high as 85 miles per hour, causing the temperature to feel like negative 70.
Yeah,
Dear
negative
Lord.
70. Good. That's cold.
Yikes. The life-saving serum reached Nome on February 2nd. The run was completed in a record 5 days and 7 hours.
That's
700 miles, 5 days, 7 hours.
Yeah, I could do it. I'm just kidding.
could do
That's
it by
pretty
foot.
wild, though. That's pretty wild. I mean, you get these dogs just pumping and going, probably day and night, just running.
Oh, yeah.
So fast, man. That's so wild.
But apparently they were doing like a relay system.
Yeah,
so they just run a stretch.
So they're doing
hand it
sprints.
off.
They're doing
Yeah.
sprints. It's almost like the relay sprints in the Olympics. They're
I
just,
hope they had some place to like stay when they got to the end, and not just like
they just run till they die.
maybe like town to town kind of deal.
It's got to be.
All right.
It's got to be.
So all sled dogs and mushers were heroes. 4 dogs died from the cold. Sorry. 2 notable dogs who survived the run were Togo and Balto.
Balto, that name rings a bell.
Ooh, you want to know more?
Yeah, I do.
All right. They're both Siberian Huskies. Anyways, so here's Balto. Balto.
Big Dick Balto. That's his nickname now.
BDB.
Big Dick Balto, baby. Tell me about that dick.
So Balto was owned by Sapala and was the lead sled dog of Gunnar Kassin. Balto was larger than Togo. Sorry, this is weird. But did not cut a racing profile.
It didn't really look like a racing dog.
Yeah,
well, what they do nowadays, sorry to interrupt you, what they do nowadays, it's not just Siberian Huskies. They mix breed them with like greyhounds, Malamutes, labs sometimes, just to try to get the best genetics for the dogs. So they're like more jacked and faster and have the endurance, but also stay warm.
It's called evolution of the athlete.
Yeah, baby.
So he was not cut for a racing profile. He was considered to be a scrub dog. Yikes. Meaning an inferior or slow-working dog. Sapala did not consider him breeding material, so he had him neutered when he was 6 months old. Poor Balto. Balto was a strong dog, and he was used as a frightening dog at the mining company where Sapala worked. So
he's like a little bit bigger. He looked scary, but he wasn't very fast or agile, athletic. Chopped his balls off, probably not producing as much testosterone.
Yeah, so I picture him more of like a wolf-looking dog, kind of mangy, scare away bad men and
fuck people up.
Yes, exactly. So he was he was part of a dog team that transported heavy supplies to miners. Balto's first chance as a lead dog was with the Serum Run. They gave him a shot.
It sounds funny though when you say provided supplies for miners.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. That just reminded me. I was listening to, or I know that there's going to be a documentary coming out about the whole steroid abuse situation with like Alex Rodriguez. And the guy that I guess was involved in selling him and a lot of other baseball players steroids was also selling steroids down in Miami to like high school kids and children. And he was working through like a fake doctor. He was high on cocaine the entire time. He was
Rodriguez?
an addict. No, the guy that was selling it, or like the middle guy. And then he was just like addicted with tanning. So high on cocaine, tanning all the time, somehow got intermingled with selling steroids to everybody. But for some reason, the whole providing supplies to children made me think of that.
No, not children. Miners, like
miners,
like coal miners, or like gold miner.
Classic misconception, huh?
Dude, turn your fucking brain on.
It will do.
Where was I? Balto's first chance was as the lead dog in the Serum Run. So I don't know why Kassin here decides, hey, here's this dog that's just literally used to guard the mines and bring heavy supplies real slow. Decides Balto, yo, here's your shot. There's lives on the line. You're up, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. Good for him, though. Good for Balto.
Anyways, Kassin and Balto covered the last 53 miles of the relay. Balto proved himself to be an excellent leader. He was able to stay on the trail in near whiteout conditions and was credited for saving the lives of the team on more than one occasion. Cool.
That's awesome, man. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, the next part is about how he dies.
Skip it. We don't need more death.
No more death on this
Balto is
podcast.
still alive in our hearts and our minds.
There we go. So the publicity from the 1925 Serum Run helped spur an campaign in the U.S. that dramatically reduced the threat of diphtheria. So finally they got smart. What do you know? Vaccinations in 1925. We still can't figure it out today. 2019.
Yeah.
Jesus, people. Since 1973, The Iditarod Trail has been run annually in memory of this original sled dog relay.
Oh, is that that's where it started?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I thought that for some reason, I just thought it was a race that I knew it was a tradition. They ran it every year. It was the craziest race you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know why.
Mm-hmm. It was a short story of life, buddy.
Now I know why.
Yep. Oh, so this next sentence is awesome. Alaska used the Iditarod race to promote immunization to other local public health activities.
Cool. Wait, what?
So that race was used as like the promotion for immunization.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
In
Promote it any way you can back then, man.
1973, yeah.
Promote it any way you can. Fuck yeah. You know what? Death rate, super high back then for children.
Oh, yeah.
This promoted it, increased the, increased how they're doing.
I don't know.
Made them better. And now, today, people are getting dumb.
Yeah. It's like the pendulum has swung. How many deaths will it take? Vaccinate your children, damn it.
So who's next on the list?
Togo.
Oh, yeah. So Togo.
And Sapala.
Okay, continue.
But by the way, the pictures of these people are just badass. Like just absolute awesome dogs and awesome looking men. You want here's Balto and Casson.
Yeah, they look like hard weathered. Not American because they're up in Alaska, but
I don't know, like
Inuit
like
men.
Are they Inuit?
They 1930s in Alaska. You can't imagine too many explorers made it out. I mean, people did, but I mean, it's got to be just
Canadian.
I mean, I don't even know what they would be categorized back then, but they're up in the harshest condition. Their skin is like leather, probably have hair all over, eating a lot of fish, getting a lot of fat and oil in your...
Burly men.
Yeah, so
All right. Togo was the lead sled dog of Leonhard Sapala. Interesting name. A musher of a Siberian Husky breeder. So Togo was smaller than the usual size of a Siberian Husky. He was sick as a puppy. Sick as a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Was difficult and mischievous and did not seem suited to be a sled dog.
Okay, so both of them, in the beginning of the story, they made it out that Balto was like the shittier of the two, but it seems like they both weren't like out to be sled dogs for one reason or the other. Okay, continue
one was
though.
a little tiny and small, and the other one was too fat and kind of mean.
So this is...
And then one was kind of like a little prince.
They're the underdogs.
Basically like Thor.
They're the
Loki.
underdogs.
I picture them.
Not really at all. Gods?
Yes,
okay,
they're gods.
Continue.
Okay. Sapala gave him away when he was 6 months old to be a pet dog at a house several miles from his home. A few weeks later, Togo escaped and ran back to Sapala. So, interesting. He said, fuck this. Going back.
Little pussy.
Do what I want.
Puss.
The devotion impressed Sapala, so he kept him. After much training and problems, Togo filled the lead dog position and became one of Sapala's most treasured dogs. So, he's learning. At the time of the Serum Run, Togo was 12 years old and had been a lead dog for 7 years. Sapala and Togo covered 91 miles, the longest distance of the relay and the most dangerous part of the journey.
Sweet.
So Togo died at the age of 16 in 1929. His body was stuffed and mounted and displayed for the Iditarod Trail Headquarters Museum in Wasilla, Alaska.
That's ridiculous.
Sorry, I got reading. I got carried away.
we were listening last week about dogs getting taxidermied, and that seems to be pretty typical thing back in the day. I just can't imagine having a fucking stuffed dog in your house.
Balto died. So Balto died at 14. His body was also stuffed and mounted, and he's displayed in the Cleveland Museum of Natural History.
It's a bunch of stuffed dogs all over the place.
Well.
Let's go.
Dude, can you imagine if they stuffed people?
Good God.
Like George Washington's body's just stuffed in a museum.
Taxidermied. Abe Lincoln just taxidermied somewhere. Got his actual hat on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go steal one of those taxidermy dogs and give him to my little sister.
Yikes.
Would she know? Who knows?
I think she would.
Probably.
She's like in high
Dead
school
dog.
now.
She's 14. She probably figured out. All right. So I think that's about it for today. We didn't two cool stories. We got snow dogs. We got polar dogs, Igloo, Balto,
Togo.
Togo. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, I got to get to dinner. Got to take a piss. Greg said he has to go jerk off. You know, anytime he says he has to go run, it means he has to jerk off.
We were doing so strong.
But again, if you are in the Rochester area, free adoption event, April 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., Rochester Animal Services down on Verona Street, and it's sponsored by Petco. Get down there, pet a dog, adopt a dog, a lot of pit bulls, Rochester Animal Services. And in addition to that, don't forget that we have our gear, the apparel, at barkology.itemorder.com, barkology.itemorder.com. And as usual, don't
swag on.
Put that swiggy swag, that doggy swag, that wag swag.
Ooh.
Get that wag swag. I like it.
Yeah, buddy.
And as always, follow us on social media, Instagram, Barkology Podcast, Twitter, Barkology Pod, everywhere else, Podbean, Spotify at Barkology Podcast. Check us out. Listen in every week. Love you guys. And Greg, wrap it up.
Over and out, baby. Wag more. Bark less.
Bye.